A word of caution tonight, some may find portions of the video disturbing. Also tonight, the woman's attorney, Randall Isenberg, is joining us for some perspective. First, though, only on Fox 4, James Rose with the new information.
Don't touch me.
You know what? You're fixing to get yourself hurt.
You get a bitch
okay, quit.
on me. Don't you
Quit resisting.
It was early in the morning, October 11th, 2009. Whitney Fox was suspected of driving drunk and crashing her car into the tollway wall. Trooper Arturo Perez was the first to respond, and after Fox was checked out by paramedics, he gave her a field sobriety test. The handcuffed woman is slammed so hard you can hear the impact on Trooper Perez's microphone.
Don't grab me like that.
Listen to me.
All of it was captured on Perez's own dash cam and traffic cameras controlled by the tollway authority.
Now, I'm trying to get you to the car, and you continue to resist.
Dallas criminal defense attorney John Herring represents Perez. Herring would not talk on camera, but when I spoke with him by phone Wednesday, he made several points about the video, the incident, and the assault charge against his client.
Listen to me.
Herring says the case and this video were investigated by the Texas Rangers. Based on those findings, the Dallas County DA's office presented an official oppression case to a grand jury in March. Herring says that grand jury dismissed the oppression charge against Perez, but the next day the district attorney's office charged him with misdemeanor assault. Herring calls the move exceedingly rare. He also says the Rangers concluded after reviewing the video that Fox was resisting arrest.
Oh my God, that was not necessary. I am 130.
The DWI charge against Fox was dropped. Trooper Perez retired shortly after the incident and right before he was going to be fired by DPS. He has a court date next month for his misdemeanor assault charge. James Rose, Fox 4 News.
Randall Isenberg is Whitney Fox's defense attorney. Randy, thanks for coming down tonight.
Thank you for having me, and good evening.
All right, good evening. First, what do you want people to know about Whitney Fox?
Well, first of all, she's a very diminutive, 105-pound slight girl, age 23, just like a feather. And the very idea that handcuffed with her hands behind her back that she could be resisting anything is ludicrous.
All right, we'll get more into that.
Sure.
I don't think many know this, but she was coming home from a party at a gay bar that night. Your client says when she told the officer that, he had some kind of reaction. She thought he didn't like it. Does she think that's why what happened? I
don't think she's blaming her friends that were with her's orientation for the officer, but she did indicate that there was a change in his demeanor when he learned that.
Has that been part of the investigation? Do you know?
Well, I don't really know.
FBI investigated it?
The FBI did look into this, and as far as I know, they're still looking into
that part of that element
Sure.
of it. Okay. All right, let's we do have some video and that we're going to kind of show pieces of this. She was arrested for allegedly driving drunk. We have video of that, the walk the line sobriety test. You said yesterday she wasn't drunk. The attorney for Officer Perez told us today she was twice the legal limit. What's the truth?
You can see the picture tells the story. You can see right there that she's doing the walk and turn test perfectly. You can see that she does the one leg stand perfectly. You can see that before she begins the test, she leans over and ties her shoelace. And she's the good Samaritan in this story, and so I'd say that Officer Perez's attorney is doing what he's got to do: create or fabricate a defense for his client. But saying that Officer Perez resigned is sort of like saying that Richard Nixon resigned rather than be impeached.
All right. Did she take a blood test?
She refused, according to the trooper's own report. She refused.
Does any of that matter to you as far as the overall?
Well, what difference would it make whether she was or wasn't intoxicated? She admitted that she had consumed alcohol, but that doesn't mean that you're intoxicated. But what difference would it make? If you're intoxicated, you're entitled by a police officer that weighs you by 150 pounds to be slammed into a concrete wall? I don't think
that's clear,
so.
yeah. I want to show you another piece of video where this really went bad. Whitney isn't happy about being arrested, but then on camera we do see her as a walk jerk right there. jerk away. Is she resisting at that point?
No, she's not.
Right there.
What she's reacting to, as you can see, is that he is pulling her hands that are behind her back and up to her shoulder blades. He's pulling her by them, and she stops because what the audio says, quit jerking on me. And what you don't have on camera would happen seconds before that is he had her up against the wall and was in fact applying intense upward pressure on her to the point where she only had 1 foot on the ground, 1 foot in the air, and her face into the concrete barrier.
Let me ask you something. Let's say she had slipped away. She managed to slip away, ran into traffic, and was killed. We would be talking about something entirely different. You understand how important keeping control of a suspect is, though, right?
Absolutely. Listen, no one's saying that police don't have a right to protect themselves and don't have a right to protect the citizens. That's not the issue here. This is a situation where the officer had this circumstance totally in control. She's handcuffed. She's not providing any resistance. She's not capable of providing any effective resistance. And he loses his temper. He loses his composure. He loses his professionalism. And he drives her into a concrete barrier. If she hadn't hit with her chin first, which is the hardest bone in the skull, she could have been killed, she could have been paralyzed, or she could have been permanently brain damaged.
We have video of the one thing that's kind of been a mystery is this person who Whitney and you say grabbed the wheel and caused the initial collision that started all this.
Sure, I said earlier that she...
And we can roll that video. This person kind of, there's a little bit of a confrontation, I think, by the person whose car was hit, and then they get together and they try to stop her from leaving, and see this is the person in the white is trying to stop her from leaving, getting in between. That's the other person in the other car, and then she just eventually just rolls. She just heads on down the road. Go ahead and talk what you know about this person. If you've talked to her, you know what's going on with it.
Okay, her. Well, with the video feed I've got, it's really pretty grainy and tough. But there are 3 people involved in this. Yep. One's the passenger in Whitney's car who is intoxicated. That's why Whitney's driving. She's the designated driver for this birthday celebration that they were at.
Okay, we just showed the guy was running after the woman who walked away. He realized she was going and then goes back and tries to catch her, and then he doesn't. All right, so tell me about.
Okay, but there are two cars. Yep. One car is stopped much further down the road than what is in the video feed, and that is the person that with Whitney called the police to protect and help the person that was intoxicated who jumped out of the car after the accident and was running up and down the tollway. And if you go further in the feed from the tollway authority, you can see her over on the other side of the tollway, and how she got there obviously is crossing over the tollway, which was a very dangerous situation.
Does she have some responsibility here, that person?
Well, certainly Whitney thought that she was the one that was totally responsible for what happened. There wasn't a collision with another car. It was a collision with the wall on the tollway because she yanked the wheel. When Whitney said, "I'm taking you home," she yanked the wheel, turned the car into the barrier, which caused the airbags to deploy. And of course, when you've had an airbag deploy in your face, you're not normal under any circumstances, because there's shock, there's stuff that gets in your eyes. It's a tough deal. Okay,
quickly, we got to wrap this up. What's very next on this? You know, you got a timeline here. What happens next immediately?
Well, the very next thing is that the district attorney's office, very ably represented by their prosecutors, are going to rightly prosecute Officer Perez for his criminal conduct.
All right. Will you file a civil suit at some point, or somebody?
Well, the plan is yes.
Plan is yes. Okay, that's a good answer for now. Thank you. Randy Isenberg, the attorney for Whitney Fox, thank you for joining us tonight. Now,
thank you for having me.
You bet. To see the dash cam video again or leave your comments about the story and the investigation, go to our website, myfoxdfw.com.